Hi ZF community, Dr. Cobb back with you. I hope you're having a great December. We just got back from Las Vegas teaching a combatives class. Had a fantastic time. So this week what I want to talk to you about is a continuation of our ideas on stamina building. Now, most people wouldn't believe that you could stand and build your stamina. But today I want to talk to you about a research study that's really about how powerful the mind is in building your stamina, not only for physical exercise, but for resilience in the face of life challenges. So let me kind of set the stage for you. A number of years ago, a researcher started looking at high performers, Navy SEALs, triathletes, Ironman triathletes, etc. And he was looking at their brains in a functional MRI to go, hey, how is it that their brains work that's maybe different from an office worker? So he looked at a bunch of different people, Navy SEALs, triathletes, office workers, and basically they put a little challenge to them, and they put a mask on them, and they told them, hey, at some point during this test, while we're studying your brain, we're going to cut off the air supply. Now, what started to happen, and what was very noticeable, is activity in one part of the brain called the Insular Cortex. Now, this part of the brain, basically what it does is it pays attention to your internal body sensations. So what would happen is, right when the warning came, the Navy SEALs and the triathletes, that part of their brain, the Insular Cortex, would get a big burst of blood. So basically it said, hey, what does the body feel like right now? And then as their restricted breathing occurred, the blood supply decreased in that area. So in essence, what we were learning is that their brain was saying, hey, I know something tough is coming, so I'm going to make sure that I don't overthink this. I'm not going to get overly emotionally involved in it. Then they compared that to office workers, and their brains actually worked completely the opposite way, which basically showed that when they were under stress, their brain paid even greater attention to what they were feeling rather than less attention. Now, the other part of the brain that got involved in this is called the ACC, and basically that deals with emotional regulation. And what they figured out was that the SEALs and triathletes were able to stay more relaxed and less emotionally involved in this stress process. Now, they said, all right, we wonder, is it training or is it kind of genetics and makeup that makes that happen? Well, they then ran some tests. In 2011, they took a bunch of Marines and they basically put them through a mindfulness training process to help them really pay attention to their internal sensations and then the world. And what they found was that after, I believe it was 8 weeks of training, that the Marines' brains looked really, really similar to the Navy SEALs when this test occurred. And then the further training from there, they showed actually increased performance in endurance efforts. Now, what does this mean to us? Well, it's pretty simple. It means that we can actually build perseverance, we can build physical stamina by learning how to run our sensations better. So what I'm going to do today is give you one simple exercise to do for the rest of December. And once you've done it, you can actually start to notice a significant difference often in your ability to handle stress much more peacefully and with less physical discomfort than ever before. Now, the exercise sounds super simple. What it is you can do it standing or seated, but in the study that was done, they did it standing. They'd have the soldiers stand up, and they would have them spend 5 to 10 minutes focusing on the feeling of their feet on the ground. That's it. Now, whenever you focus internally, that activates that part of the brain called the Insular Cortex. So they put a timer on, and this is what you need to do, and I would recommend that you not start with 10 minutes, but maybe set a timer for 1 minute, stand up, and just notice what your feet feel like on the ground. And you can almost have a conversation about, where do I feel more weight? Is there anything that's uncomfortable? Is anything tight? And you're trying to do this in a really non-judgmental way, just saying, what do I feel? Now, once you're able to work up to doing this, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, you then begin shifting back and forth, and this is actually the real key piece. It's called attention shuttling. My ability to focus on my body, focus on the world around me, focus back on my body. So the goal is, once you've reached 5 to 10 minutes of really being able to focus on your feet, you then open your eyes, you look around, you think about what you're seeing in front of you, and after you focus on the world for 1 or 2 minutes, you then go back to focusing on your feet. Now, normally, like I said, this type of training takes place over 6 to 8 weeks, and you try and do it daily to build this concept into your brain. But what we've learned over time is that when you do this kind of exercise, not only does your internal sensation become more accurate, it gives you greater emotional control, so that whenever you're faced with something more difficult, rather than having your brain overreact and freak out and go, oh my gosh, this is terrible, it has a much more accurate view of what's happening, and you're able to stay more calm under stress. So, you don't have to want to be a Navy SEAL to do this exercise, because from my perspective, everyone's life is stressful. So whether you're an executive, whether you're going through medical treatment for something that's greatly uncomfortable, it doesn't really matter. what it comes down to is understanding how our brains process this kind of challenging information and knowing that there are some simple things that you can do to give you greater control in your life. So that's it. You can stand your way to greater stamina. That's kind of the idea here. So if you have any questions about this drill, we're going to give you an article to read around it also. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you have any questions about how to apply it in your life, what it means to you, please let us know. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic week. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.